The half marathon distance has really grown in popularity over the last few years, with so many runners taking on this amazing feat. I thought today we'd go into all the details of what your race week should look like so you can go out there and run your very best race possible. Starting out, everything to do in those days leading up to the race in order to keep that stress to a minimum, plus little mental tips and tricks I've used over the years, pacing strategies to really get the most out of you on the day. So if this is your first half marathon or you've done lots of half marathons before, by the end of this video you're going to have everything you need to go out there and run the very best time. Let me know what half marathons you've got coming up down in the comments. It'll be great to chat running races down there. Right, let's get stuck into the video, starting out everything to do in the lead up to the race. Starting out, we want to do that all important kit check, decide what we're going to be wearing, get everything laid out nicely on the floor so you know you've got it all. Make sure you've worn absolutely everything in your training as well. Everything's tried and tested. Please don't go and buy something new to use on the day. If you want, you can download our completely free PDF checklist so you don't forget anything. You can just tick it all off and then you can rest assured you've taken everything you need to the start line. Charge all your devices, your phone, your watch, your headphones if you're going to be taking those, and for me, a camera. Some people might be videoing their race as well. I really would recommend pinning your race number to your vest in the days leading up to the race. As soon as you've got it, get it pinned on. It's an absolute nightmare trying to find pins on race day morning. So many people ask me, should you be tapering for a half? And I would certainly say yes, you should be. All our training plans, which you can get on my website, benparks.com, we'll link to those down below, do include a good taper phase, allowing you to get to the start line freshened up and ready to go. For your final week's mileage, I'd recommend dropping your mileage down by around about 60 to 70% versus your peak week. So if your peak week was say 50 kilometers, then ideally running around 15 to 20k plus the race after that. Should you be doing a shakeout run the day before? Go and do one if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to go out there, freshen the legs, calm the nerves and everything, run with some friends, then it's not going to harm your race in any way. But I say just keep it short and sweet, 20-25 minutes, something like that. Also really important, plan how you're going to be getting to the start line. Check you've got all your travel connections, you know exactly what you're going to be doing, especially on a race day morning when not all the usual travel options might be available. Me, I always like to get to a half marathon start line around about 1 hour before the race starts so I can find everything, just the lay of the land, where bag check is, where the toilets are, the starting area, the starting corrals, especially if it's a big event, something like the Great North Run, the big half, or some of the super halves around Europe. You're just going to want to get there and just see where everything is. Check the weather forecast on whatever app you're using. Do you need to take an extra layer to the start line? Is it going to be a little bit cold, or is it going to be a little bit warmer than expected? You might need some sunscreen, some extra fluids, some extra electrolytes in the build up to the race as well. Now to also check, is there a bag drop available? Not all races offer this. We can't just assume it's going to be there. So make a plan for what you're going to do with your valuables. You might need to pay a little bit extra to have the bag drop facilities. This used to be pretty standard practice in a lot of races, but so many races are sort of charging extra money for these things now. So just check it. You don't want to be standing there at the start line saying, where do I hand in my bag? And you haven't booked it or they don't offer it. Now in terms of nutrition in this sort of week before the race, carb loading, it can certainly help over the half marathon distance, but it's really not the be all and end all that it is in something like marathon training. So absolutely no need to overload on carbs in the days before the race. And in terms of what to eat, yes, the usual classics, your rice, your pasta, your pizza, but again, don't try anything new here. Just have the same things that you might have had on a Saturday night before your Sunday long runs in training. And I really would recommend the night before the race, try and have your dinner as early as possible. For me, usually around 5, 6, 7 p.m. So you've got lots of time to digest it, and I'm going to get a better night's sleep as a result. It's really important to have a plan for the race. Now, of course, through the course of your training, you should have started to work out what your goal is going to be, but work out what that time goal is and stick to it on the day. So many people go charging off, suddenly thinking they can run 5 or 10 minutes quicker on the day, but normally the wheels will come off at halfway and you'll be walking it in. So decide on your realistic goal. If the training hasn't gone great, then you might need to adjust that down slightly. But if it's all been good, work out what your goal pace is, and then when you're looking down at your watch, make sure you dial into that pace right from the start of the race. Don't go off too fast. I would recommend also in the lead up to the race, maybe watch a few YouTube videos of people that have done the race before. They might have taken their camera down. I love doing these type of videos. We've got a whole playlist, I'll link to it down below, of all sorts of amazing races. When I run 69 minutes at the Great North Run, going around with my GoPro was definitely one of the favourites. So if you are running Great North Run, you want to see what that's like, then go and check that one out. But it could be a really good idea just to do that course research. How many hills are there? Maybe how many laps are there? Are there sharp turns? Are there water stations? What are they going to be giving out at some of the A stations as well? Just so when you're standing there on the start line, you've got a really good idea about what's coming up. Right, let's move on to have a chat about the race day morning. Right, it's breakfast time and it's so simple here. Just have the same things you'd have usually had in all of your breakfasts before your usual long runs. Ideally around about 2 hours before the start. The absolute classics, things like toast, bagels, porridge, then maybe take a banana or a bar with you to have you on your journey if you do get a little bit peckish. For me, it's pretty much always a couple of bagels and some peanut butter and jam on top of that. I've done it for years and it's always worked pretty well. Now, it's not trying to try anything new, just get your usual carby breakfast in there and you'll be ready to go. Once you arrive at the start line, find the toilets, get in the queue early. There's going to be a lot of nervous tension with a lot of people there on the start line. Most likely there'll be some quite long queues for the loo, and also we'd recommend bringing some loo roll. You don't want to get into one of the cubicles and find out the last person has used that last scrap of toilet paper. Now, if there is a bag drop at the start, then get all the things you need for your race out your bag. So have you got your gels? Are you taking your phone with you? What about your headphones? Put your body glide on. You don't want to check your bag in and then think, oh no, I really need my phone and I've just checked that in. Also recommend get the GPS locked in nice and early. It can sometimes take a little bit longer if you're in the middle of a city or there's loads of other people around you. And then just a little warm up if your time and space allows. Some light jogging, some dynamic stretching. So whatever you feel comfortable with that you'd normally do before your long run. As I said before, don't change your race day plan now. Know the pace you're setting off at. Know when you need to be taking your gels. Usually for most people, it's going to be around about every 30 minutes during the half marathon. Now, so many people are going to be incredibly nervous on race day morning, especially if you didn't sleep well the night before, which happens to a lot of people out there. I've run some of my very best races off very little sleep the night before. I really would focus on the night before. The night before is when you want to be getting that really good night's sleep. For a lot of half marathons happening on a Sunday, that's going to be Friday night. Really concentrate on getting a good night's sleep on that Friday. In the morning, maybe listen to your favorite podcasts, some music, take something to read or chat to those around you, just to take your mind a little bit off the nervousness about what's coming up. You've done all the training. This is just really another long run with an amazing crowd that are going to be cheering you around the course as well. But as I say, it's completely normal to be very nervous on race day morning. Everyone's going through a very similar thing. Right, here we go. This is where the magic happens during the race. As I keep saying, set off at your goal pace or slightly slower. Ease into it. We don't want to be tearing off at the start. A lot of people do this and they get very carried away by excitement of the day and the excitement of the crowds and suddenly think they're going to be out there running an hour for the half marathon. No, stick to your goals and you're going to be okay. For me, I really like to try and run even splits in the half marathon, so long as the course is nice and flat. Now, of course, you're going to have done your research, you know where any hills might be, so it might not be completely even, but I think that's a really good goal for a lot of people to be aiming for. And then I really like to, for the last maybe about 3K of the race, that's when I really like to sort of try and pick up the pace and empty the tank of all the energy I've got left. Going out hard or faster and then your goal pace is rarely going to work. Yes, you're going to be feeling really good at the start. It is going to feel easy. That's good because you've done your training really well, but be patient and stick to your pacing. On the screen now is my watch face that I usually use. I'm always keeping an eye on my lap pace. It will reset every kilometre that I go through because I work in Ks, and I'm always just trying to dial into that. Now, the vast majority of races will not be exactly 21.1 kilometres on your watch when you finish. You're going to be weaving a little bit. There could be some GPS accuracy issues around the course with some tall buildings. So most races are about 21.3, 21.4 on your watch. Don't worry, they definitely are the right distance, but with the watches aren't the most accurate thing. So you probably want to be going just a little bit ahead of your goal pace. The goal pace is 5 minutes a K. I'll probably be wanting to make sure I've got about 4:55 on my watch, just to account for those potential GPS inaccuracies. Of course, there will be course markings out there. They should be fairly accurate, so a lot of people like to just go by those. I always like to try and break my race up into chunks as well. Quite simply, the first 5K, 10k, halfway distance, and then about 5k to go. That park run to go is when I can start to try and pick up the pace. Again, it's really good to chunk up your race like this. It really will help it to seem a little less daunting. You've done the first 5k and you think, oh crikey, I've still got 10 miles to go, but just chunk it up and tick those little blocks off. Smile, enjoy. If you're the type of person that's happy to chat with those people around you, maybe interact a little bit with the crowd as well, it can really sort of help G you up and add to that excitement of the day as well. And just take a little moment to think, how amazing is this? I'm out there, I'm running a half marathon, I'm so proud of myself, and just realize everything you've been to get to the start line, and now you're actually out here doing it, being an amazing human being. And then in terms of your nutrition out on the course, for me, I'm always trying to take my gels around about every 30 minutes, but just whatever you've practiced in training, convert that into the race as well. In terms of taking on some fluids, you might like to have a hydration pack out there. I really would recommend that if that's your thing and you've trained with that, you can keep all your supplies on you. But if you are running without a hydration vest, then just take your water just little and often is what I say. Drink to thirst. If you feel thirsty, get some water on board. For me, I just like to have a little sip from a cup most of the aid stations as I go round, and that works out pretty well. Right, we're about to cross the finish line. Let's have a chat about everything after the race. You've got your medal, you feel amazing. What's going to happen now? I really would recommend keep walking as much as possible. Your muscles are likely going to be pretty sore, pretty tired, but if you just sort of collapse in a heap on the floor, you're going to stiffen up very quickly. So keep walking, try and have a little snack with you as well, something high in protein, high in carbs. Put something in your drop bag if you can do that, so you can get something straight away after your race. A lot of races now aren't that great about giving stuff out at the finish line. It's sort of a little pet peeve of mine. Some are really good, but some aren't. So I always like to have some supplies in my drop bag that I can get to very quickly. Something like some milkshake, maybe a little electrolyte drink, some water, and just some sort of good healthy snacks as well. Enjoy the moment, collect your medal, take some photos that you can show to your friends and family, and upload onto social media again if that's your thing. So that's it, guys. Have an amazing time out there. Wish you the very best of luck. Next up over here, we've got a video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, and also a video about how to run a sub-2-hour half marathon. So go and check that out. If that's your goal, keep on working hard, keep on working on. I'll see you very soon in the next one.